What's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome back to Dad Beats. This is episode 7. I know I didn't lose count that quickly.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Once again, Dad Beats is basically where we talk about the joys and challenges of being a producer and a creator with responsibilities, a family, and we discuss those types of things as well as really important things for the producer and creative community, such as today's topic, which is about NFTs. If you guys are anything like me, you're probably going to need a crash course in what they are real quick, and we have gentleman here, Mr. Godcloud, who's going to enlighten us on some of that, as well as his journey and how he's really turned his production journey into a lot of success in the NFT space this early. It's still very early in it. So welcome to Mr. Godcloud. Thanks for coming in, bro. And once again,
thanks for having me. Appreciate it, yo.
Glad to have you, man. And my illustrious co-host, Mr. Lifted Noise, is in the building.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Glory be to God. And I guess I'll go ahead and fill in for O since he's not here. If you guys appreciate the podcast and subjects like these, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up so we can push it along and more people can see it, more people can get the information and the value from what we're doing here. So yeah, welcome Godcloud, and let's get into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't know where the King O Caesar is right now. I have a feeling he's taking a nap, and something happened to his phone this week, so I don't think he's got the alarm he normally has. But yeah, he's probably gonna be like, "Dang man, I can't believe I missed it."
Maybe he'll pop in here in a moment. So
yeah, he might pop in. So yeah, man. Shout out to the King O Caesar. He might be in here soon if we're lucky. But yeah, let's get right into the topic today. Once again, NFTs, which stand for non-fungible tokens. It's kind of a pretty popular subject right now, and kind of everybody on the creative side and the business side is trying to figure out, I guess, their angles and how to get involved with NFTs. And one thing I noticed about you and your journey so far has been, you've kind of been keeping everybody on track who follows you on social, right? So like on Facebook, in the NPC gang group, I always saw you doing finger drumming videos, which is, you're definitely super talented at that. And I always loved, your finger drumming videos. But one thing that really changed, I guess, a couple months ago was you dropped an announcement that you were the first finger drummer to drop an NFT, and everybody, was putting like the wow emojis, you know what I'm saying, on your post, man. So if you can talk to us a little bit about that, like what did that mean to be like the first finger drummer with the NFT? What was that, about really?
Yeah, so, and I tell you what, man, like I didn't even, when I did it, when it happened, I didn't even really like think it was going to turn into everything it's turned into. You know what I mean? I honestly, it happened in March. So I remember the day, it was on my daughter's birthday. The thing sold within a few hours of me putting it up on the NFT platform. But I used to teach NFT basics rooms online, or on Clubhouse, rather, the app Clubhouse, like I was speaking about before we came on, and I was just doing like it's an exercise, like, hey guys, like if you want to do it like this, how whatever. And once I did it, I'm like, you know what? Like, ain't no other finger drummers in the space right now. Like, it's only me. Like, ain't nobody really, on it. It was super, super early. Like, we're still early now, but this was back, like I said, in March, and I had already been in it for 2 months then. I did that. And once I did that, that got me instant clout within that community. On top of me onboarding a lot of people, I then had this, badge of like, yo, I was the first at something in this space, which was big at the time, So that just kind of, turned into one thing after another. That's when my my Rolodex started getting a lot stronger, with a lot, more powerful and, big people in the music community. And I just started leveraging all those contacts into, what I have now. And that's all off of off a finger drumming video. Essentially, dude, I sold an Instagram post for like $20 and it turned into all this, And
Gotcha.
yeah, man. So that was a story with that as well, man.
So
That's what's
when
up.
you say you sold an Instagram post, it's pretty. It was a video of you finger drumming, and
Yeah.
you turn that into an NFT, which is I guess the way you explain it, it's kind of like creating a serial number for it and making it a collectible in a way.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, sorry. Go. Keep going. I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying, it kind of makes it a collectible, and then you're able to kind of go on the market and sell it. And I guess, you're relying on other people to kind of determine what it's worth, right? But from what I understand about NFTs is, you can create them with like a never-ending royalty in a sense, where every time it's sold, you get a percentage of that sale. Is that something that you did with your first one?
So there were certain issues around the first one that I made because of the way that I did it. So there's different ways that you can what we call tokenizing, or it's non-fungible tokens. So when you make something into an NFT, we call it tokenizing or minting. Like if you mint like a
Mm-hmm.
coin, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the way that I did it was in this particular way where they call it gas-free minting, which allows you to kind of bypass the transaction fees or the service fees that come with using blockchain. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
think about
Mm-hmm.
it like if you were going to use like another ATM that wasn't with your bank, you get charged that fee, right? With
Right.
anything you do on the blockchain, any activity, you get charged a fee. It's called a gas fee. So the process that I was teaching was how to do it to avoid that, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
particular platform that I use, when you forego those gas fees in the beginning, you're not allowed to receive the royalties on the back end. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get
Oh,
royalties on that particular one. But
okay.
because I wish I did, because the guy who bought it for the $20 went and listed it for 2 grand after that, because it was the
Wow.
first finger drumming thing. So
Right.
but the shady thing about that particular platform too, they have it listed that you do get your royalties, but
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the guy, because like I said, I was able to, just connect with these, CEOs and all these people and everything. And I talked to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's a typo on the website." I'm like, "Dude, BS." But that's a whole other story. But
Typo on the website.
yeah, right. And that's something. But generally, yes, like the royalties in perpetuity. That is a big, draw to the NFT space, and that's why a lot of artists are getting involved. And that's why it's kind of, alluring for musicians as well, because you put a track on there or something, you sell it, whoever buys it, they obviously, the holder wouldn't want to start putting that out everywhere, because that's going to bring the value down on their,
Mm-hmm.
on what they just bought. So if they do want to sell it, they're going to up the price, sell it, and whatever you set in the beginning as your royalty kickback, you're going to get that back forever, every time that thing sells. So
Mm.
yeah, the royalty kickbacks are definitely a beautiful thing. And again, like I said, unfortunately, like I wasn't able to, reap the benefits on my on my first NFT, but it's all a learning process.
Definitely. Definitely. So, Raul, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, I was thinking because just listening to you talk about when you got into NFTs and it being early, you mentioned March, and that's I think back when I heard about it, and I thought I was late, and I think it'd be
Uh,
good because I'm barely I'm starting to understand this stuff. I think it'd be good to kind of clarify for some people, because for me, like I got into crypto a little bit, when those
mhm.
stimuluses started coming. I thought probably a lot of people did, and then that's right around when I heard what an NFT was, and I was like, "What is this?" So you mentioned blockchain and all that stuff. So I was just wondering if you could kind of get into a little more detail. You don't have to expand too much, but just so we can get a basic understanding.
Of blockchain, like okay,
Oh yeah, and
yeah,
how it relates to crypto, so we understand that
oh,
these are kind of
okay.
things that that are relatable, just for our understanding. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So let me try and do a condensed breakdown of blockchain. So
sure.
with blockchain, all it is it's like a ledger, right? It's like a list of transactions. You know what I mean? And the reason why it's it has its appeal like it does is because there are, essentially truth machines, or what we call consensus protocols for the the tech heads or whatever. But I'd say it's a truth machine. It's like a ledger with a truth machine, and there's a process that happens that verifies each transaction. So if I give something, like, let's just say, hold on, I'm getting a notification, I'm sorry. So let's just say like I send something to site, right? To do that, there's there's a mechanism in place that's going to trigger to say, like, okay, Godcloud is giving X amount to site, and we are verifying that, and every other node that has a ledger on it now has to say, okay, yes, that's happening, that's happening, that's happening, that's happening, and there needs to be a general consensus amongst all the nodes. And that, when I say node, I mean, like, these are the people who are operating the blockchain. So, like, let's say I got a computer and somebody on the street, somebody in California's got one. All these nodes have to agree that this transaction happened, and it happened in a way that it says that it did, and that essentially is the ledger and the consensus mechanism behind blockchain. So that's what verifies all the transactions and all the values of the currencies. And I could go way deeper, but I'm trying to keep it like
right.
condensed. But
and it's a decentralized network, right? So it's like it's all these different computers that different people own, communicating with each other and agreeing that the transaction is valid, pretty much. So
right, yes,
that's where it kind of has its. I guess that's how you're able to keep it, I guess, kind of secure, because all these things have to agree in order for the the token to have its value or whatever.
Right. And it's impossible to, if someone were to hack a blockchain, they would need to take over more than, like I said, it's a consensus, like based protocol, consensus based verification protocol. So if someone wants to take that over, they need to take over more than half of the blockchain so they can control the consensus. You know what I mean? But it's damn near impossible, because you just can't locate all the nodes. You're just not going to be able to. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it, trustless. That's what makes it peer to peer. It's like, so I know that if I'm sending something to somebody, I can go take their wallet address, pop it into what's called etherscan.io, and look at all their transactions. I can see everything that they've done, everybody who they've dealt with, and so on, so I could be like, okay, this person is legit, or, like, this person is claiming to be so-and-so, but I don't see any of this, data to back it up on the scan, so it's really cool. It's really, just an awesome, transparent way to do peer-to-peer, like transactions and stuff like that. So yeah, without geeking out on it too much, because I don't want to get off that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So without geeking out on it, like you said, how accessible is this space, and for like your average beat maker at home who's kind of like putting together some beats, looking for a different way to release them, right? Because this is, I guess, just a different way to distribute your final product, right? So how accessible is it to someone who's maybe not that familiar? How much time do you think someone needs to spend in order to kind of get into the space productively?
It's pretty easy to get on and do whatever whatever you want to do. It's pretty easy to get on. There are a few barriers, but just a little research will help you get past that. Like so like the way that I described on how to do it, and what I when people ask me like, yo, can you teach me how to do this, whatever, like I have a write-up on my website, godcloud.org, and that just breaks it down real quick. All you got to do is set up a crypto wallet. And this wallet is going to act kind of like signatures. It's going to be how you sign off on actions on the blockchain, because it's just going to ask you like, hey, do you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? And if so, sign with your wallet so we can have, your name, saying, yes, I agree to do this and whatever, and it'll be a record of that, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
you just got to get yourself a wallet, and there are some sites, like I said, where you can just go on and all it takes is a wallet signature for you to be able to make an NFT to be able to mint, and that's what I did in the beginning. And again, it goes back to how you market, you know. And if you are, you know, good at marketing, if you have a good relationship, good connection with your audience, with your fan base, and you know, they, even if they don't have an understanding about it, man, take that time to educate them
Mm-hmm.
about it, because that's just I think any like subject that can potentially bring up more conversation with your audience is a good thing, you know, because that's exactly what I've been doing with it, you know what I mean? Like, not a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people knew about it, but I was able to talk about it to people. So, you know, as long as you can get over the hump of getting a wallet, which isn't that hard, you know, find a platform that doesn't, you know, charge you gas off the bat, then boom, you're good. So like, you go to godcloud.org, click NFTs made simple, and it'll give you in 3 steps. You could have your first NFT up today, and within like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's that
Wow.
easy. So
I
if you
got
want to get a
I
little
got
deeper
one
into it, though, then you got some stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? What's up?
a little more geeky
No, what were
questions,
you
and
gonna
I
say?
guess I was just curious. Like we're talking about blockchain
Sure.
now. Does all are there many blockchains, or does you know what I mean, or are there many, or is there
Oh
one, or do they
yeah.
all interact with each other? Because you're talking about a wallet, and if you have something like a cryptocurrency wallet, like a Coinbase wallet, is that considered a wallet, and does that interact, or
Mhm.
do you need to get a separate wallet specifically with an NFT platform? Does that
Oh
make
no,
sense?
Coinbase. So yeah, no. Yeah, that makes total sense. So I think Coinbase is a couple different like so Coinbase has the one thing where you can buy the crypto and all that, not just Coinbase. Then they have Coinbase Wallet, which is where you can
Okay.
store your NFTs and have your crypto and everything. So what? Here, I gotta pop my charger and take my headphones off real quick. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
My bad. Should have charged.
This thing, yeah, it eats up a lot of juice.
But yeah. So okay. So you this now we're about to geek out. Now we're back. So what you'd have to do, you'd have to go to Coinbase, right? This is just what I do. I have Coinbase linked to an account that I put my money in. I take my money, buy crypto through Coinbase. Then I take that money or that crypto that I purchased in Coinbase, and I send that to. I have a Coinbase wallet, and I have another wallet called MetaMask, which is one of the most
Mm-hmm.
popular ones. So once I get the money into my MetaMask, I then use my MetaMask as what's called a hot wallet, and that's a whole other thing, but I'm not getting it right now. So I then will connect my MetaMask to other platforms, and that's how I sign off on things. If I need to send somebody money, if somebody needs to send me crypto, I I purchased my ENS domain. So instead of this like long, unreadable like list of like numbers and letters and shit, mine just says .eth, and it's an NFT and it's by that for, and I think I bought it for like 20 years or something ridiculous like that. So but I got that, and if anybody really needs to send me anything, I say, hey, for the address, put in Godcloud.eth and send it. And with the MetaMask wallet, you're talking about the blockchains. It asks you, what network do you want to these transactions
Mm-hmm.
on, and you have to kind of really enter information, which is kind of it's kind of explained, like especially if you don't know about like crypto off the bat. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that one alone. But you, depending on what platform, what blockchain you're on, you will enter in the correct info, and you will connect to that blockchain. And if you're not to the right blockchain, it'll like a notification will pop up and say, hey, switch over to Matic. You're on, or this is for Ethereum. You need to switch to Ethereum, and you have it on the Matic setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different blockchains. I'm currently signed to the EOS blockchain, or rather, I'm signed through a platform called Voice that uses the EOS blockchain for as exclusive artist and creator. So yeah, it's different blockchains. Some wallets are blockchain exclusive. Some can work with a bunch of them. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. I'll be
No,
rambling.
it's all good.
Yeah,
It's all
for
good. Yeah, I think with one of the interesting things you said is, like an exclusive. You have like an exclusive situation with an organization, and I think that's something that's interesting because it's almost like I guess you could say it's almost like a deal, like a record deal type of thing that you have, or is it just like a partnership that you have with that that organization?
Well, so with them, what it was is that I agreed that I'd work with this particular artist. They get to use my name, and I've done stuff with this guy. So I think I can talk about it now. I don't think anything's gonna happen. We're already
No,
already
yeah. I don't want to get you in any legal issues.
like yeah. So they no. It trying to figure out how much I can say and not disturb anything. But yeah, so Ali Sabet, the guy who I had do the art for the George Lopez project, and the guy who I did the Beijing showcase with, him and I got asked to do some work on this blockchain or whatever. So we're creators. Or not on this block. I keep saying blockchain. It's a platform, but they're the only people who I know that use EOS blockchain, which I never heard of honestly until I got signed with them. But same thing. They give you they hook you up front, and then on the back end you percent the sale of the things. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like a record label, but the deals are a lot better. You know what I mean? Like it's just like at this point, I can't imagine myself like signing to a record company with how they have things structured. Like these, these platforms, they look out for you more. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to gouge you. They're not saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna go sell this, but you're only gonna get a nickel. You know what I mean? And plus, too, they help with promotion and everything. So. Yeah, so that's the relationship I got with voice.com. The stuff is pretty soon. It's some dope work. Alisa Bet is an incredible artist. I was honored to be able to be in this collection and with him and everything, just being able to attach my music to his visuals. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I like these songs or these these pieces that I gave to him, like the amount that we stand to make, it would take me forever to get that in Spotify streams. It would be like, millions and millions of Spotify streams, like even if you think about it, like on like my last drop that I did, which was just like a test drop, I think I made what would have been equivalent to like 500,000 Spotify streams. Something like that like a little under a week and a half.
Oh, you broke up there. You said the last drop.
Just the mechanics of it and the sovereignty too.
My bad. Yeah, you broke up. It said you said something about you stood this to make 500,000
so, yeah,
something.
I was saying that I was saying that what I made off of my my last NFT drop came out to about what would have equated to 500,000 Spotify streams.
Okay.
And I got that in under a week. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I got that. Yeah, not $500,000. No. not bringing that in quite yet. Not quite yet. But nah, man. Like, and the fact that I could, without having like a big machine behind me, by just being like, hey guys, I'm doing this. Check this out, and my community, they're like, okay, cool, we'll grab that, and with this one, I did it right. So I will get the royalties off the secondary sales, and the secondary sales are already, like up there. Like I sold this one NFT for like $70 and they're already selling for, I think the cheapest one that I've seen was like 200. Other people have it listed for 1,000 and so on. That is dope. You know, you don't see it with music. You know what I mean? Like think about it, man. Like you know, something goes out, it goes out. You know, and that's it. You don't get anything else from it, really. You know, but with this ecosystem, it changes. It's disrupting and changing a lot. So. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much. So yeah.
Is that the royalty thing? Is that based off of the platform itself? Like if you're making an NFT, do you get to determine like how much of the royalties you want to relinquish, or is it the platform that's doing that? Are they getting the cut? And yeah, as far as that goes, is it like platform specific, or based on your what you want?
No, you get to pick how much royalty you want back, but you gotta, you know, right then you're kind of making a deal between yourself and your your consumer. You know what I mean? Because you can set it. I think one of the platforms is letting you like ask for up to 50%. You know what I mean? But if you're doing that, then you got to think like if somebody's trying to resell it. If they want to resell it for like $1,000, they got to split that even with you now. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like defeats the purpose of you and your fan base making money together, you know. So I keep my percent, like, you know, depending on what it is, anywhere from like 5 to 10, you know what I mean? And I think that's like fair. I think, you know, that's cool.
Gotcha.
Like they like, you know, your fans know what the deal. If they're buying it on NFTs, they know the deal. You know, so they should expect to kick something.
Real quick, bro. We're getting like a lot of lag, man.
And the platform really doesn't.
We might have to drop you out, and reconnect, and see. We might have a bad connection because it seems like the latency just got worse over the last like couple minutes. Let me see. Let me see if I can check something real quick. I'm gonna try dropping you out and just send you another invite and see if it links up better because it seems like it's just like it's like a lag. Okay. Give me 1 second. My bad, y'all. Just want to I want to make sure like we can hear everything that he's saying because it was getting really tough there. All right, just send him another invite. See if we can get him back in here.
Yeah, it was getting pretty laggy on my end too.
Yeah, no, because when we were first talking, it was so smooth, and you know, we were just sitting here busting it up, and it seemed like the further we got into the conversation, it just kept getting worse. But I feel like I was just missing some important points on there. Let me check the chat while we're waiting on him to come back in here. All right, shout out to Everett Vincent. He came in real early. Studio Gangster, what up? Soraya Knox.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Shout out to Ram, Mr. Trey Marks 315, Sean Silence, Craftmaster Productions. What's good, bro? Only the Funk, Chef Boy AB, the homie Trips in the building, NX Music, Cinematic Toys, Sun 100. What's good, my brother? Linda Son, what's good, man? Thanks for stopping in. Cresshead, what's good? Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Yeah, this episode is something that I've been wanting to kind of bring about for a while, and then our last guest actually touched on NFTs a little bit, and it's something that really kind of became like I guess a lot of requests came in through the channel off that last interview about the NFT thing. So what I noticed about the homie Godcloud is that, you know, he's really locked in on that scene, and he's really sharing a lot of information as well. So I kind of wanted to make sure that we, you know, brought that to y'all and kind of him share his journey on how he got into it. And his story is really super interesting too, because he was just talking about he was actually locked up last year, and then you fast forward this year into the scene that he's gotten involved in, and now he's got so many different projects popping off. So he still hasn't jumped back. Let me see. Maybe he's trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking like one of those crazy technology days today.
Yeah.
But shout out to the chat, man. Anything else y'all want to ask him while we're waiting for him to come back in? Tango Jordan was good. Andre Lee, what's up? I think we got it tapping in. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we got this rolling on the Lifted Noise channel as well. Split X was good. Thanks for dropping in. Apex. Let's see what I got in the chat. And but yeah, man, this is bringing up a lot of questions for me, because I'm hearing them talk about we're talking about like record deals and advances and getting money on the front end versus the back end, and it kind of makes me think of like if you make an NFT and you're like an independent artist and you're trying to come up a little bit, as kind of using the sale as a record label as like a boost, you know what I mean? Like try to get some money to fund what you're doing in your career, you know what I mean? It kind of sounds like that's a possibility, because you're relinquishing some of the royalties to the person. Say this person is someone who's a collector and wants to get in, and that's kind of an incentive for them. So in a way, it's like, I think it's removing the middleman of the record label in a way, and giving the opportunity to an individual to purchase in and kind of fund you in your career a little bit. And but then I'm also thinking, because we're talking about the different platforms, are there 3 parties involved as far as these royalties go? Are you having to split it 3 ways, or it's just a lot of questions there, but it's very interesting.
Yeah,
but we got Godcloud back.
Yeah, but no. The royalties aren't split between you and the platform. No, or between you, the collector, and the platforms.
Okay.
If anything, the thing that's the big issue in the NFT space, like I was saying, those transaction fees, the gas fees, those are the killers right there. Like, those are what's really volatile, really unpredictable, really like it's a pain to navigate around the gas fees, like I mentioned, when I was selling my NFT, and I'm gonna geek out for a little here, but I sold it on this thing that's called an Ethereum sidechain, which is Polygon, which uses another token called Matic versus Ethereum. Now, what you have to do is you have to take your Ethereum and you wrap it, which means that it gets another layer of code put around it. So this Ethereum can now operate on the Polygon blockchain. So that's what wrapping your ETH is. And when you do that, because that's an Ethereum event, you have to pay gas. And during this particular time when people were doing it, it was costing, or the price was coming out as like $1,400 to wrap $70 worth of Ethereum, which is insane. It's freaking crazy. But that's when we were able to figure out other ways to do it. So it was what ended up working out for people is if they went and purchased, how I was talking about using Coinbase to purchase your crypto. If you go ahead and buy the Matic right then you don't have to worry about wrapping it and all that, wrapping your Ethereum and doing all that stuff. So, and again, that's Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain was only set up to process 20 transactions per second, but since this NFT craze, it's crushed. It just can't handle it. You know what I mean? So the gas fees are the problem right now. That's the real issue. But that's not on every blockchain. Like I mentioned, Voice has 0 gas fees. Polygon has next to gas fees that are next to pennies. So it's Tezos is the same way, which is another blockchain. There's a lot of them that have different consensus protocols that allow you to save some money on the gas.
So
That makes
every
sense.
NFT platform has their own coin. Is that correct? That you need in order to purchase, or can you purchase with, some platforms will accept Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin or that kind of thing?
Well, some of them have their own coins, but mostly everybody's using Ethereum.
Oh, okay.
As far as I understand, none of them are really using Bitcoin. Bitcoin Bitcoin is a closed blockchain, so it's hard to build, build dApps for it. Or when I say dApps, I mean like decentralized apps, and you know, I mean you can, but it's not. It just have utility like the Ethereum blockchain. Like Ethereum was built for what's kind of was built for what's happening right now. It wasn't ready
Mm-hmm.
for everybody to rush in and make NFTs like they are now. So um, I think Origin Protocol, which is a platform, has its own coin.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Rarible has its own coin. I think there might be a few more, but off the top of my head, I know those platforms have their own coins. But generally, everybody's using Ethereum to make NFTs and buy and sell NFTs. That's the big one right now.
Now, as far as like promoting, right? I heard you talking about that before. So, let's say, for instance, you put out an NFT, and how would you promote it, right? Can you only promote it to people who basically have a crypto wallet, or have the kind of the tools already laid out? Is it kind of, are you only able to promote it to people who are kind of tech savvy and into the space right now, or are you actively bringing people into the space, or is there kind of a way, if somebody who's just a supporter of you and hasn't really who isn't really that familiar with the blockchain, or hasn't gotten involved in crypto or NFTs, is there a way to bring people in who are not really that familiar with the space?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I did. Like when I got into it, I knew, like I said, man, I was the first like finger drummer in the space, so I knew other finger drummers weren't really gonna get it off the bat. So that's why I took the route of, I put the time in, and every week I would teach, basics rooms, basics courses on it.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Like every day every week I'm having these rooms, getting like 300, 400 people in there,
Mm.
setting them up with crypto wallets. I'm making 300 to 400 potential customers every week, and not just
Mm-hmm.
for me, but for the whole community in
The
general,
whole community. Yeah.
and they're gonna go tell a friend, that friend's gonna go tell two friends, and so on. So with this, it really gives us the opportunity to get clever with our marketing and really like step it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you think your marketing is good, like, but are you just good inside your bubble? You know what I mean? Like I could sell sample packs, because people like, okay, like, yeah, I I get that. People understand that. It makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. But when I'm like, hey, here's an NFT of me finger drumming. Like, here's a video that you've probably seen on social media, but I'm giving you the chance to actually be the only one with it and own it.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. Then people are like, well, what, why? And one thing that I added to sweeten the pot with my finger drumming NFTs was that if you buy it, I take it down from all social media. So you're the only
Mm.
person with it. And not only that, but you get the stems, you get the final mix down from it, and you get partial commercial rights too. You know,
Oh, okay.
and you can lay all that down in the description. So now what
Mm-hmm.
happens is people buy a Godcloud NFT, they get the music from it, and generally in the NFT space, a lot of the visual artists aren't musicians,
Mm-hmm.
on top of that. So they will buy music from my finger drumming videos and their NFTs. So now, not only am I, here's a finger drummer, and the curator is like all the other stuff I'm doing now, I'm also the soundtrack on other people's NFT projects.
Okay.
So it really gives you the chance to get super creative with the market. And hey, if your fan base ain't with it, educate them. just like I was saying before, take that time to build that conversation, you know, like, and you see it, man, like even in the NPC group, when I'm talking about the stuff that gets attention, you know, that's that's all part of the, you know, my plan, you know what I mean? Right. It's to have those conversations, to have to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Boom, that's a chance for me to talk to them. And hey, if you don't want to buy this, I got a sample pack for I got a free sample pack that you can go grab. If you like that, I got another one for $10. Right. Boom. You know.
And I think that's the key, man, because you know
part of it. You know what I mean?
It ties into kind of where the producer and creator space is right now, right? Like it's not so much just make music and then a bunch of fans flock to you. It's literally building relationships with your supporters. You know what I mean? And it's a mindset shift that I had to make, you know, a few years back when I started my channel is kind of seeing, you know, you see Gary Vee was talking about it 10 years ago or more, that kind of like the new economy is going to be based around having more interactions with your audience and building relationships with your audience. And that's kind of where you get a lot of your, at least initial value from, right? Like those beginning supporters. And in turn, like what you're talking about is, you know, say you educate 300 people on how to use, you know, how to get into this space and start, you know, collecting NFTs. Naturally, they're going to support and get some of yours. And the incentive for them is in the future, as, you know, you become bigger, you become more popular. It's almost like an investment in your career, because now those early NFTs that you put out will become more valuable. Theoretically, I mean, you know, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but kind of like the premise behind it is if you buy, it's kind of like a baseball card is how Gary Vee puts it a lot. It's in a sense of if you have someone's rookie card, by the time they turn into Michael Jordan or, you know, like Alonzo Mourning, you know what I'm saying? They get to this higher level. The value of what you invested in the beginning, that rookie card is going to be worth a lot more. So I think it's a different way to think about monetizing your art, because it really is more like art. It seems like to me, it's not the way music was traditionally marketed. It seems to be marketed. I mean, it seems to be more like a painting or a piece of art where one person has it and it just gets more valuable through time. And each person who sells it typically makes more, you know, than when they bought it, right? Like that's kind of that's the goal, if I'm seeing it correctly.
No, right. And that's the thing. It's like, imagine you're an artist, right? Or even let, you know, stand alone. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people start flipping those things for crazy amounts. You know, you're not going to get into that, you know, but had they been, you know, token, the bigger kickback you get. And yeah, and that was a big thing happening to artists too. Like Banksy would sell a painting, let's say, I don't know, like 20 grand. Banksy sells a painting grand. Now, because it's an old Banksy painting, just like you said, somebody's had it for a while, they can sell that shit for like 200 million, you know, and Banksy gets nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they're tokenizing our work from the Now there's that trace of it. Now there's that, you know, immutable ledger that can't be tampered with, that guarantees that we get paid. You know what I mean? So when you get to apply that to music, you know what I mean? Like now we're not waiting, you know, quarters for our royalties, you know what I mean? And just like, I don't know, even like right now, man, like I said, dude, like I can't, knowing what I know now, I can't like put an album on Spotify and be like, okay, yeah, let's hope that I get my listeners up this month for this. You know, like I'm gonna make this record, I'm gonna tokenize it, I'm gonna create experience around it, and I'm gonna, you know, show that to my NFT fan base, not even just them, but to everybody. People who don't understand, I'm gonna teach them about it. I'm gonna take the time to teach them about it. And just more conversations, more connections. Hopefully, if they, you know, they see that I have value, they will invest in me. You know what I mean? So that's just the plan, man. I feel like just the nature of the space leaves it so open for us to all connect and really trying to take full advantage. I think everybody should, honestly.
Gotcha. Now, do you think there should be some type of balance between, like at this point in time? I know you see the value in the NFT space already. Like based on what you were just saying, is like you don't really want to release things the old way, quote unquote, which it really is the old way. You're pretty committed to this being the future of how art is consumed. So with that being said, I mean, say if someone is kind of trying to hedge their bets, right? Like, do you think it would be a reasonable strategy to maybe make some type of release commercially the kind of the old way, like put it on distributors and let people buy your album that way, and then have an NFT version? Can you do both at the same time, or should you, kind of like save certain content that you feel is more rare, or that maybe you don't want as many people to consume, and save that for an NFT? Like, is there some type of strategy for how you choose which content that you make or which art that you make should be more rare?
Um, good question. So a couple things about that. So how I would tell somebody who's looking to approach that, if they've got that audience on with the DSPs, if their audience is there, by all means, do what you're doing. Drop your album on Spotify, do that. But if you want to, kind of mix the ideas with the NFT version of it, put some special things to it. And that's the other thing too that I didn't talk about, is that the cool thing with these NFTs is what's called unlockable content, right?
I lost you there. It broke up.
There's ways to have gated. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, my bad. It was just really choppy. I wasn't able to make out what you were saying. Yeah.
Am I coming through now? Okay, cool. Here, I'm in my headphones back in real quick. Had to charge up for a little bit. I was outside playing in the leaves with my kid.
Yeah, fall is in full swing right now. I finally wore a hoodie down in Georgia. I felt like it was wintertime.
Yeah, I know, man. It's out here, dude. But yeah. So what I was saying is that try to definitely, mix the worlds or the communities. Like if you got people buying your stuff on Spotify, set up there. But if you want to do an NFT, add some. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. The unlockable content. You can add some special features to the NFT side. Like hey, if you can download it off Spotify, sure. But if you come get the NFT, you will get like a vinyl with it and a T-shirt. And I will do Zoom calls or like finger drum lessons with you, whatever, like that. Give them an incentive to get that. And it's like, sure, you might be able to do it by saying, hey, download the album and I get you this, but that'll be really hard to trace. You know what I mean? It's way easier when you can, like I said, you can go on that Etherscan, check to see who has the tokens. When these people come to you, you're like, okay, you're verified. Or you could create token gated entry to certain sites and whatever, like, so people will have to go to a specific site, connect their wallet, and the site will scan their wallet and see if they actually have the NFT or not, and then once they get in, then they can access more stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good way to kind of mix the worlds. Like you're saying, if they want to hedge their bets, do it like that. Me particularly, like, I've got a lot. I don't know. Like, I was never really like putting out albums. Like, I don't think I put anything on Spotify in like 5 years. And like, honestly, man, like people ain't trying to listen to a Godcloud album. They want to see me finger drum. They want to see me do fancy shit like that. And now they want to see me do this NFT shit.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. I get that. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see me finger drum. And then they were like, yo, what are those sounds? I'm like, I'll say those sounds. And that's just what it is, So I've just figured out a good way to kind of, because I'm still selling my sample packs for, on my website. You just go grab those, you know what I mean? But if you want the extra experience, you want to own one of my finger drumming videos, that's where the NFT
Gotcha.
stuff is, So I'm kind of doing that balance right now, but in just a different, different
Yeah,
sectors.
and I
So,
guess it
but
depends on
yeah,
your
hope,
brand,
hope
right?
that
Yeah,
makes an
no,
answer to the
it
question.
definitely does because I think, your brand, you have that performance-based component, and I think, it's smart the way you're doing it. You're using the NFTs to kind of monetize the performance-based component of your career, and I think, a lot of us, like I personally, I don't have like a performance-based, component to my music career. It's pretty much, um, you know, even releasing music, I haven't done a whole bunch of it, even though I do get requests for it. But I think it's dope that like if you do have a performance or some type of uh, if you can create some type of content that is you can consider a piece of art, I guess you can call it, and it's a good alternative or probably the future best way to take something that is uniquely yours. Like for instance, I guess in my case, I would imagine I would maybe make an exclusive video that maybe could have been put on YouTube, but kind of more performance based or more, more of a short film, maybe something like that, and then turn that into an NFT. You know what I mean? Where it's like, because I don't really have the finger drumming skills and stuff like that, but there are ways you can take whatever it is you are strong at, and basically turn that into a piece of content that you sell like a piece of art. So I think it's cool. It does give it gives us a lot of different ways to kind of not just monetize now, because what it seems like, again, going back to the investment thing, is like it's giving people an opportunity early in your career to kind of invest in it and grow with you, and people who believe in your brand to get involved in your brand, have something established that is collectible, and then as you grow, the value of that grows. And I think that understanding that is probably huge for like the whole NFT space, because a lot of guys like, I don't understand, why would I do it? And I think it takes some imagination. Like you have to think about, if someone was watching you and they're a fan of yours, what else would they want to see, right? Like what else would they want to see from you, or what would they like to hold on to? Like I create like tangible objects for people, like merchandise, NPC gang hats, hoodies, merch stuff. That's kind of like one way that I've found to give people a different experience than just watching my YouTube video. So if someone supports what I do, or kind of like the culture I'm creating, or helping to kind of like I guess you could say build, what I'm saying, the community I'm building, you can support by getting the NPC gang merch, right? But if you're not doing that, and you're just really just an artist focused on yourself and your own things that you're creating, I think the key is to create either something tangible, like a piece of merch, or some kind of symbol of yourself, and turn that into an NFT, or create, because what you're saying is the NFT is separate from the physical thing, right? Like you can buy it, you can have something physical, but then the NFT is kind of the registration of it, I guess you could say. So if someone wants to say, if someone wants to check and see if this is the authentic thing, like say I make a one of one NPC gang hat, right? Like I make a blue one, and then I only make one, and then I put it out, and I would create an NFT as a way for people to verify that this is the one that I made, right?
Yes, yeah, that's exactly how you do it. And technically, they would have to be sold together. You know what I mean? Like let me put it to you like so. Rolex, they have their own system in their own database in which they, each Rolex comes with a special card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't sell a Rolex without that card. You
Mm-hmm.
can try, but it's going to decrease the value. there you're gonna be getting looked at weird, you know. So, you know, and honestly too, like like dude, like if you ever need help running the NPC gang NFT, you know, like clothing line thing, whatever, I'll be happy to help you out. But you
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
it.
No, we're
You're
definitely gonna
talking
talk,
about,
man.
man, like
Yeah.
special hat, you know, have that with it. Or what you could do is make a token, an NFT, and say, hey, you get this. This will allow you to get in line merch.
My bad. You're breaking up
You know what
again,
I'm
bro.
saying?
I
Or
don't
you
know
could
if
say,
it's the
hey, the next
connection.
line of standalone souls. Oh, sorry,
Nah,
sorry.
it's all good. Let me make sure it's not on
Yeah,
my end.
it's probably some right now.
Yeah, because when you put your headphones in, it did get a little better. I don't know if it's damn. All right, my bad. Can you just run that back one more time? Because I missed kind of like the meat and potatoes what you were saying there.
Hold on. All right,
Yeah, I hear
can
you.
you hear me
Yep.
now? Sorry, this connection ain't to it. Okay, cool. So yeah, like I was saying, you you can make, you know, the next standalone soul,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can have NFT to go to allow or to you can make an NFT around that, and people who get it will be allowed to get in line to buy it, you know. So whereas the items themselves is the NFT. You know what I mean? So you can't even get these things without buying the token first. You know, and you do that in limited batches, and that like, yo, man, like I can't even, or like I can't out
Yeah, it's chopping up bad,
popping
bro.
these. You know what
Damn, yo,
I mean?
this is driving me crazy,
So
bro. Because like I know you're dropping some jewels right now, and it's so hard to
you
make out
can
what you're
get
saying.
real creative with it. You know what I mean? Like that's the crazy thing. It's like the sky's the limit with all this stuff, man. It's just wild, man. It's really like the wild that's going. You know, you on somebody expensive.
Bro, I'm gonna try to call you
But
back again, man, because it seems
yeah,
like as
sky's the
time
limit.
goes on,
Whatever
the
your
connection gets worse.
imagination will, wherever it will take you, that's, you know, it's what it is, man. So that's why I always tell people, like, think about it. Think about,
Let me try to call him back real quick. Yeah, my bad,
Yeah.
y'all. It's the network is driving because yo, I know he's dropping some jewels right now, and I'm like, I can't really make it out, man. Kirk State, that dang on Comcast. Yeah. Kirk State's a Verizon dude. I'm a former Verizon dude. We be taking shots at Comcast every chance we get. But yeah, let me try to send him another invite. Yeah, that's weird, man. It's like almost like the latency gets worse at the longer he's on.
Yeah. Well, he's on his phone. I wonder if he's just on his mobile connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering when you guys were gonna bring up sample packs because that wasn't mentioned, and he started to bring it up there a little bit because I mean I was thinking for you and him, he's making sample packs, and then just kind of curiosity because I'm eventually gonna drop something, but yeah, like standalone soul, that kind of seems almost perfect for something. But I mean, at this point, you've kind of given some exclusivity and you set it up in a way where it's kind of like an NFT. Yeah, you do. Is it?
That's number one right there. So I saved number
Oh,
one.
yeah,
I saved number one on purpose.
yeah.
Just so, kind of just thinking forward, like when I'm ready to get into the NFT space, if I'm able to build standalone soul into the brand that I believe I can, that would just sorry, I'm trying to get my focus right here. That would give me an opportunity to take advantage of the NFT space when I'm ready for it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
that's
you're
what sucks about these connection issues is like, man, I'm trying to soak this stuff in for my own
yeah,
brand and as well as y'all. So
exactly. But it seems like you got it kind of set up in a way where it offers like some of the exclusivity that you would get in an NFT, right? Because you buy the physical version and you get the future downloads, right? That's how you got it set up. Have you
right. So
have you set it up where there's like have you thought about a max amount of physical versions that you sell, or you just as the demand
originally
comes?
I was gonna do just like maybe 250 copies or something like that. I still might. We're only maybe about 100 in.
Mm,
So I haven't really been pushing standalone soul that crazy because I'm still building it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a
yeah.
work in progress. So the way I try to set it up is where kind of like the early adopters get it at a discounted rate, and there's kind of like this appreciation for supporting me while I'm building it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's kind of like a way where I could build a sample pack series, but I have a lot of support from the beginning. And then those kind of like those beginning people, what I did was I found a platform that allows me to take everybody who buys the deluxe version and put them into a community. So now I can do exclusive videos or meetups with just that community within the platform. And
Mm,
so that's one way like I'm already thinking on that. How do I add more value to my audience, my early supporters, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people who rock with you from the beginning, you should treat them special. You know what I'm saying? So I was already kind of thinking in that way. But what I think is cool about this, based on what he's saying, is that you can really take anything that you've done. Like I seen Jim Jones, like he's taken like one of his old albums, and I think he's making that like Dame Dash. I think was doing something where he was like he took Reasonable Doubt and his stake in Reasonable Doubt, which was like 1/3, and made that into an NFT.
mm.
So I think it's retroactive. Like you can go back to
Uh,
stuff you've done, which is cool. But I think if you have the foresight to kind of look at your projects and try to find a way to hold on to something. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
mm,
holding on to number one of Standalone Soul.
yeah,
Like hold on to something that you feel like could be a collector's edition if your career takes it to the next level, and turn that into NFT. I think
yeah.
we got him back in here, y'all.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, in order to have an NFT, does it have to be a product that's already fixed? Like, is that a piece of work, art that's already made, or can you create NFTs for a feature? And yeah, I mean, I guess you could in a way as like unlockable content, right? Like you have rights to maybe get a release earlier in the future. But yeah, just thoughts here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Godcloud, what do you
yeah,
think
so
about that?
like
Like yeah, is that something you're able to do? Like take something that may not be brand new and turn that into an NFT? Because I was talking about how I saw a couple of guys doing that.
yeah, for sure. Like when I did that George Lopez record, right, I was lucky enough to get oh man, it's chopping again. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I got um the singer named Oli vocals on the song that we did, and she actually did one of the highest grossing music NFTs like ever with this guy named Justin Blau, where took a record that he did like 3-4 years ago and did like what I was talking about. They added some more experiences to it, made some vinyls. So you buy the NFTs, you get vinyls, you get to make a song with him. They had it like in tiers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can take some old stuff, add some new experiences to it, and say, hey, this is was something I did years ago, but now you get this NFT. Now you get access to all this other stuff that you wouldn't have been able to get before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, it's definitely a possibility to do. Like you can anything in space. If you mind and the imagination, you can pull something off with whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have never thought that I'd be selling, my music for the prices it's going for. You know what I mean? And even with the last NFT that I dropped, there's a lot of layers to that, because I don't know if you saw the little drum machine guys that I'm putting out, right? For that, I did 16, because it's 16 pads. Like I'm an MPC head, so everything is, 16
Yeah.
pads and, drum machine driven, So I did 16 of those, and when you get that, it will give you access to a drop that I have coming later on, where I've got an artist working on doing some like really dope, like 3D versions of the drum machine guys. You got access to my Google Drive folder, which has the album that I'm working on in it. So you get to listen to this album as I update it. Every time I go to the studio and mix a song, the old one gets replaced. So you're listening, you're literally watching me make an album in real time. You know what I'm saying? And you get access to one of my sample libraries as well, which I'm going to be updating also too. So just from getting that NFT, you get access to a lot, and anybody can do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just like we were talking about, like you could do an NFT where when people are holding it, every month they get in line to cop the standalone soul, which will come with exclusive NPC gang merch, stuff like that. And you're only getting this stuff. You're only able to get in line if you get this NFT. So that's just something I just coming from the hip, shooting from the hip.
Right.
One idea, and I'm sure if you got down, notepad, start busting stuff down, man, you come up with a lot, man.
Word. No, that's super inspiring, man. And I think if anything, just this whole conversation has kind of just it's opened up a lot of possibilities in my mind as far as like, what I've already done and kind of where I can take it. But I want the audience and everybody that's tuned in to know that like it really is an opportunity for any type of creator, any type of artist to kind of you don't have to compete on the same old things. You know what I'm saying? Like in a sense of like you're not competing, for the attention of an A&R to try to get a record label. You might not be competing with like other artists, and you can really just kind of be your own artist, put out the work that you really like, and create these things. And if you do them in a way where you get royalties in the future, it's dope, because one of the things most people don't realize about artists is while they're alive, the most popular artists while they're alive weren't that popular. You know what I'm saying? There's some exceptions, like Michelangelo was the man when he was alive, you know what I'm saying? But he was even more revered after he passed away. There's a lot of artists like that where like early on in their career, they weren't very valued, and even during their entire life, they weren't valued. But after they passed away, all of a sudden their stuff, skyrockets. Now, I'm not saying that's great for us as artists. I'm saying this might be a way where, you can release something early. You can have, because again, if you're looking at somebody like, we went to see this exhibit. What was the dude? Vincent Van Gogh, right? Like the dude was constantly depressed because nobody liked his work. But after he passed away, he's like, they're doing exhibits about him and like traveling around the world doing these exhibitions. And he never got to see that, so it's like if he would have released, if that same situation happened this day and age, you could be releasing your paintings or releasing your beats or your songs and adding NFTs to them with the royalty. So, later on in your life, if your stuff does catch traction and all of a sudden somebody does recognize your genius or whatever, right? Now you can benefit from your early work the way you should. And I think, it's just a different way of thinking about your work. The stuff that you're creating it might not be popping right now. It might not be what's popular right now, but a lot of us don't want to do the trends. Like we don't want to make, a lot of us say like boom bap guys, you know what I'm saying? Like guys that, are used to music from like the 90s and the early 2000s. We don't really want to make a bunch of trap stuff, and I'm not saying I'm just saying like in general, we might want to make music that's true to us. And I think the music industry will put a lot of pressure on you to kind of adapt. But the thing is, you can really do what makes you happy as an artist right now. create, and this might be a way to kind of create a release, to the public in a certain way. And there might only be 2 or 3 or 5 or 100 people that really value your work right now who would want to buy it. But who knows, what I'm saying? Like if that piece of work or that piece of music becomes iconic for any reason, in the future, you'll now get a percentage or a piece of that increase in value. And I think as an artist, that's something we can't really afford to neglect, because even though it's kind of a long shot, it's still one of those things where you don't want someone else to benefit from the fruits of your labor. I mean, someone will, whoever buys it can sell it for a profit, but you want to make sure you're in on that increase and you get at least a piece of it. And that's kind of like the artistic dream. I mean, royalties are really, they're income. It's income and fruits of our labor that last longer than we do. You know what I mean? Like, even after we're here, our kids can take advantage of it. So it's something to think about. Especially for the parents out there who, again, we if you haven't noticed a theme over the last couple of weeks here, it's been find ways to publish your work. You know what I mean? Because on your computer, it's not doing nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, having a bunch of DAT tapes, you know what I'm saying? It's the DATs weren't doing nothing for you, and now that you have 1,000 beats on your computer, they're not doing nothing for you. You're just risking crashing, a hard drive crashing and losing all your work. So you might as well publish it in some form of fashion. And I think this is probably the most future-proof way to do it, especially if you do it with, the smart way with the royalties and everything, which, like you said, your first one, you're probably just going to not take a L, but, you're going to put it out for the experience, your first couple. But eventually it's something that if you do it properly, can really be lucrative in the future. That's my take on it, at least.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing, man. Like what technology is opening up for us creators. Because like you said, even the painter, right? I don't paint, but in the past you'd have to wait till this person dies and then become popular, and then their work is worth money and they get nothing out of that. So it does. Nothing. I don't know, prior to this, do those types of artists even have royalties? So this opens up that for them. And then I think it's cool because you can be, we were talking about earlier, an independent person who, like you were saying, you maybe just have 500 people who are interested in your work. Maybe you don't have that much exposure yet. I think it gives an opportunity for someone who does recognize your talent to bet on you. And then in the future, that could benefit the both of you, that person who's buying that NFT. So yeah, man, it's really cool what's happening. Like, we already see it with the tools we've had for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years. I really don't know how long, but like, just, the digital distributors and all that, like, it's opening up all these tools for us as creators. So it looks like the time is now. It's like the age of creators, and it's coming even more. So it's a good time to jump on this stuff and get a little educated so you have that power, because it's really, this technology has given us the power, to take our own careers and art in our own hands. So it's exciting.
And the power of ownership. You know what I'm saying? It's always been, if you want your stuff to get out to the public, you have to give us a percentage, a lion's share of your work. This is putting the power back in our hands. And, the downside is, you have to do a lot more legwork. Anytime you're independent, you're definitely gonna have to do more work. But, as artists, we just can't be afraid of having to do that legwork. You know what I'm saying? Getting out there, promoting ourselves. And when I say promoting yourself, I don't just mean, just trying to make yourself popular. I mean, getting out there and making connections with the people who like your work and giving people a place, a venue to find you. You know what I'm saying? Because the venue is important too. Like, Lift the Noise, my venue, like, is YouTube. We put a majority of our work on YouTube. Because, even though a lot of, some of our videos are like tutorials and stuff, other videos that we do are more kind of capturing moments and learning for ourselves and kind of capturing our journey. So the venue matters, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, Facebook, find a venue where you can find supporters, you know what I'm saying, that will be into the type of work that you do. And just get out there and connect with as many people like you as possible. You know what I'm saying? And because you never know when your audience is going to explode. You never know when what you're doing might start trending. So you kind of got to put yourself in a position where you at least have a shot. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of my little soapbox on the situation. But yeah, Godcloud, man, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. I know that the technical issues have been kind of crazy today, but maybe we can get more in depth in the future on it and find a better. I think it's got your mic muted too, man. Oh, you muted yourself. Okay. But yeah, man, I hope we can get the network issues situated for the next time.
Yeah, I muted
And
myself.
yeah, just kind of get more information, because I mean, I know you got a wealth of info, bro, and we'll talk after the show, and definitely be talking more in the future, because you got some great ideas for stuff I want to do. But I want to share that journey that I'm going to eventually get on with the NFTs with everybody in the audience as well. So yeah, definitely look forward to talking with you more in the future, bro.
But also, Godcloud, you repeatedly mentioned that you've been teaching people this information. So if you want to go ahead and plug that one more time, so we know, I know I want some more information on this. So if we need it, where do we go?
Oh, I'm sorry, you was kind of cutting out.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It's kind of breaking up again.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so if you need more info, you can to Godcloud.org. Shoot, hold on. Maybe if I turn the camera off. Hold on.
And we'll make sure to put this in the
Can you hear me
in
now?
the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know why it's why it's breaking up so bad. So if I don't know if y'all can hear me right now, but you go to godcloudnft.com, you can see all the stuff that I'm working on. Go to godcloud.org, check out my music side, or just on, and I'll get back. I know we having this choppy. Hope y'all got that.
Absolutely, man. Well, yeah. Once again, I'm sorry for the technical issues today, man. But we're gonna get it together, and like I said, man, you're not gonna be a stranger, bro. We're gonna be bringing you in here and picking your brain as this thing progresses. I mean, the technology is still new. I mean, it's crazy how fast your career has progressed over the last year, and I think we're going to see more and more stories in the community like that, and I definitely want to make sure that we're all educated on how we can get in on it, man. And I appreciate brothers like yourself who are willing to share the information, man. It's just super generous of you. And aside from it being a benefit to kind of teach people more about it, and building your own kind of fan base or group of supporters. I know what it's like to, not be thanked enough for the time and energy you put in, man. So, thank you once again, man. Thank you for sharing all this information, and we'll definitely be getting with you soon, bro.
Thanks, Godcloud. Appreciate it, brother.
Yo, for sure, yo. Thanks for having me on, yo. Much love, y'all.
Talk to you soon, bro.
Y'all.
Peace.
Absolutely, yo.
Yeah, man. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's been sticking into the chat, man. It's challenging, you know what I'm saying, when you have technical issues, kind of take away from some of the value of somebody like that who really just does phenomenal work in the community, and really has been sharing so much information. And I really like I said, we're gonna get him back on here, and try to get a smoother connection next time. But yeah, man, everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in today and communicating with us. Are there any other questions you guys had about? I mean, I'm sure NFTs is like new to a lot of us, but is there something that you guys want to know in the future? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a part 2 of this podcast right away, but maybe it's something that we can forward over to him, and get from his social media platforms. Like he can start answering questions through his platforms as well. So let me know if you guys have questions that you want to ask him directly.
Yeah,
But,
I was hoping to ask him if you could name a few of the maybe go-to platforms that are kind of working or maybe easiest to understand for people who are just getting started. But yeah, probably just kind go check out his website to begin with. I think he said godcloudnft.com or godcloud.org.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And
Matter
if
of
we can
fact,
get that
look it up real
information, and
quick.
yeah, we can probably get that, put that in the description for, replay gang and anyone who may be interested. So yeah, just check back for that. And
Yeah,
what else? So,
godcloudnft.com. Yep.
okay, cool.
But yeah, man, it was definitely educational, and I can't wait to kind of get more into it myself, and kind of share the journey with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I think getting in on these technologies early, man, is just so crucial, bro. Like it's almost like if you don't get in early, you kind of allow these bigger organizations to get all set up and really take advantage of the early adopter thing. And I think NFTs, just like crypto, it's not going nowhere, man. It's the future. You know what I'm saying? Like people thought people thought the internet was a fad, bro. I was around back then when it was like 92, 93. We're doing our AOL Messenger. You know what I'm saying? We had our little email accounts, and I remember business people were just like, "Oh yeah, it's just a fad." Like, they literally thought that the internet was going to die off one day and go away. And it's like, nah, it just
That just sounds
exploded.
weird now.
Yeah, you sound like, no way. You know what I mean? If you told people that, they just like, nah, no way. But
Yeah.
I think NFTs, just based on my experience in life so far with technology, NFTs look like one of those things that definitely going to be the future. One of the biggest economies in the future, probably. And then crypto is not going anywhere either. I don't know
Well,
how deep it's going to get, but
yeah. Do you think there's a point where it gets oversaturated? Because we started out with Bitcoin, and I couldn't even name how many different coins there are now. Does that depreciate the value or the potential of the value of that? And does that apply to NFTs? When you're talking about the internet thing, it made me think of Gary Vee, since you brought him up. On when he jumped in on the early days of email marketing, he was talking about how email open rates back then were like 90. It was some high percentage. Now it's like, I don't know, 5 or something. So
yeah. And
yeah, I
email,
mean,
even though it's 5, it's still the most effective online marketing platform, like online marketing and sales strategy. People don't know that. Like they're like, oh, who opens emails these days? Well,
or even marketing
who?
in general.
Yeah, I mean, as far as sales is concerned,
Yeah.
email is still the number one driver of online sales, higher than all social media by like a factor of 10.
Oh, okay.
So what that means is that, like, he like you were talking about, like 90% like the open rates and stuff. I don't want to get too crazy into that, but what I'm saying is, think about it this way, bro. Like Jordans, right? You would think Jordans are oversaturated, therefore the price would come down, right? 25 years, 30 years into Jordans, bro, like they're going for more money than they ever did. It's one of those things where it's like the created scarcity, like, they only release a limited amount or whatever,
Yeah.
is considered value these days. If you can't get something, if it's not available, it's not going to get cheaper. So I think it's one of those things where even with YouTube channels, people are like, "Oh, is it oversaturated to start your YouTube channel? Oh, there's too many people doing it."
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Like,
I just say, I say that's just proof, evidence it can be
Yeah.
done. That's what
Yep.
when I hear people say that. But,
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's always going to be stuff that people think is oversaturated. Even in the music industry, people have been saying is oversaturated for years, but somehow more and more artists keep coming out every single year, and killing it. You know what I'm saying? So, in varying degrees. Like there's plenty of people now who are making $100,000, $200,000, $1 million a year in music that you'll never see on TV, that you'll never hear on the radio, but they're still doing it. So,
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, is just is trying to educate yourself and redefine what that measure of success is, because like you said, you can be relatively unknown and still be successful making being a musician or an artist, and not in the conventional old sense that you may have, but that you may be used to, just because this technology is changing, and it's giving us more power as creators.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but yeah, man, this has been a good one. I know we ran a little over. It's like an hour and 25 minutes, but yeah, bro, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Anything you want to leave with, Raul?
No, I mean, it's been educational. Guys, tune back in. Please leave a thumbs up, comments, always appreciate those things. Maybe ideas for future podcasts will come from that. And I appreciate all you guys. If you haven't been over to the Lifted Noise channel, please go check it out. NPC content. And yeah, that's about it, man. God bless everyone.
Word. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in once again. Standalone Soul Volume 3. I'm trying to get it out middle of this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something around there. 10 fresh loops coming on it. I'm gonna add some key groups in this one, some like soulful pianos, some soulful bass line key groups. So yeah, try to change it up a little bit on this one. Still have our loops, still have the drums, but I'm gonna try to add some cool key groups into it. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, man, I appreciate all the support on Standalone Soul. Once again, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's standalonesoul.com, or you can check it out at imsite.com. Thanks again, y'all. We're gonna take off on that note, man. Appreciate y'all. Catch you on the next one. Peace.